The train slowed before the town appeared, metal groaning softly as if it too needed time to adjust. The platform was empty except for a single bench and a clock that ran a few minutes behind. That felt intentional, though she knew it wasn't. Her name was Marion Hale, and she hadn't arrived anywhere by train in years. She stepped down onto the platform with one bag, and the sensation that she had misjudged something, not the place, but herself. The air smelled like damp stone and pine. Somewhere nearby, water moved quietly, unseen. There was no station building, just the bench, the clock, and a narrow road leading into town. Marion followed it. The town revealed itself slowly. A grocery store with lights already on, though the sun hadn't fully set. A post office with a bulletin board crowded by old notices. Houses set back from the road. Practical rather than charming. Nothing here was trying to impress anyone. That was the first thing that unsettled her. She had come because of a letter. Not a dramatic one. No urgency. Just a forwarded envelope from the city office where she worked, addressed in handwriting she didn't recognize. It read, "We found something that belongs to you. You might want to see where it came from." It was signed with a name she didn't remember. Marion had tried to ignore it. Then she tried to explain it away. Finally, she booked the ticket, without telling anyone. The house she was looking for sat at the edge of town, where the pavement gave up and gravel took over. A narrow structure with a low roof and windows that reflected the sky more than the ground. The door was unlocked. Inside, the house smelled lived in but paused. A kettle on the stove. Shoes by the door, papers, stacked neatly on the table, weighted by a smooth stone. A woman stood near the sink, rinsing a mug. "You made it," she said without turning around. Marion froze. "I'm sorry," Marion said. "I think you're in the right place," the woman replied. She turned then, her face open, unguarded, older than Marion by a decade maybe. "I'm Ruth," Marion nodded slowly. "I'm Marion." "I know." They sat at the table. Ruth poured tea neither of them had asked for. "I didn't want to send everything by mail," Ruth said. "Some things lose their meaning when they travel alone." She slid a folder across the table. Inside were documents Marion recognized immediately. Forms she had processed years ago. Permits, assessments, routine decisions she had approved with a signature and a timestamp. "What is this?" Marion asked, though she already felt the answer forming. Ruth folded her hands. "It's a record of what changed here. And how?" Marion flipped through the pages. Notes filled the margins. Dates circled. Patterns underlined. "These are standard approvals," Marion said carefully. "Yes," Ruth replied. That's what made them powerful. Marion had worked in city planning long enough to know the language of inevitability. Small, changes framed as necessary, adjustments justified by efficiency. No single decision big, enough to resist. Together they added up to displacement. Ruth stood and crossed to the window. "My mother lived here," she said. "So did most of the people on that list." Marion swallowed. "I didn't know," she said. "I believe you," Ruth replied. "That's why I called." They walked through the town as evening settled in. Ruth pointed things out gently. A park that had lost its funding. A road widened just enough to redirect traffic away from local shops. A zoning change that had quietly raised rents beyond reach. Nothing dramatic, nothing illegal, just steady erosion. "You were careful," Ruth said. "You asked for data. You followed procedure. You did your job." Marion felt the weight of that settle somewhere new. Not guilt. Responsibility. They stopped near the river. Water moved past them without pause, carrying reflections downstream. "I don't know what you expect from me," Marion said. Ruth considered this. "I don't expect anything. I wanted you to see it. From here." That night, Marion stayed in the spare room. Sleep came slowly. She dreamed of forms that never ended. Signatures stacking on top of one another until she couldn't see the paper. Beneath. In the morning, she walked the town alone. People nodded. Some smiled. No one confronted her. That was worse. At the cafe, an older man recognized her name when she paid. "You worked on the river permits," he said. Not accusing. Curious. "Yes," Marion said. He nodded once. "Thought so." He didn't say more. Back at the house, Marion opened the folder again. This time she didn't skim. She read. She traced decisions back to their origins. She saw where language had softened consequences, where timelines had hidden impact. She pulled out her laptop. Ruth watched from the doorway. "You don't have to," I know, Marion said, but I can. She didn't expose anyone. She didn't leak documents. She wrote a report, a careful one, transparent, boring even. It outlined cumulative impact, recommended pauses, called for review panels that included residents. It took 3 days. When she left, there was no ceremony, just the train pulling away, the platform empty again. Back in the city, Marion submitted the report through official channels. She expected resistance, delay, dismissal. Instead, there was silence. Then questions. Then meetings. The process moved slowly, but it moved. Months later, Marion returned to the town. This time, the platform clock was fixed. The grocery store had expended its hours. A notice on the post office board announced a community review. Meeting. Ruth met her at the road. You stayed, Ruth said. So did you, Marion replied. They walked together into town, neither leading. Marion understood something then that she hadn't before. Power didn't always belong to the loudest voice or the boldest act. Sometimes it lived in attention, in the willingness to look twice, in staying long enough to see what your work becomes after you leave the room. The train whistle sounded in the distance. Marion didn't rush to catch it.